I can promise you one thing by the end of this video. You'll be able to enjoy video games without being addicted. You'll be able to actually create balance. Play for only 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes a day, and that's it. Even less. You'll be so unaddicted that video games will become just that, something to enjoy. It's not going to fill your life. It's not going to be this thing that you have to do and that you're thinking of constantly. I promise you that you'll be able to strike the perfect balance. You'll be able to control when, where, and how you play video games at all times. You will no longer have your brain always thinking of the next time that you're going to get on that new competitive game. You're going to get on Call of Duty, get on CSGO, get on Valorant, get on Apex. You won't be thinking like that anymore. You'll be able to control how you play video games and balance them just naturally. You will not be a slave anymore. Because I used to be one of those guys that was super addicted, bro. I used to play Valorant and Smash Brothers. I was so addicted, man. I was always thinking, oh, when am I going to play Valorant again? When am I going to play Smash again? Like, oh, that's all I could think about throughout the day. I was watching YouTube on content whenever I wasn't playing it. I was so addicted. I would play for 3, 5, 8 hours even, sometimes a day. And it was so annoying because I wanted to take back control of my life and I couldn't. It felt like no matter how much willpower I exerted, it was futile. Futile. I would not be able to balance anything. I was so deprived of willpower, which, by the way, willpower is the absolute worst thing that you can do in order to be able to defeat this addiction. Like anything in life, you have to understand how it works. What causes the addiction? What is the root cause of it? And how do you conquer it gradually and in a way that is very achievable? And not only that, after you conquer it, how do you introduce video games back into your life if you want to? If you want to, how do you introduce them again without getting addicted? Which is exactly what I have done. If I play a video game right now, I'll play it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. An hour is pushing it. I don't even play it for 30 minutes sometimes. But you have to get to the point where you understand how it works so you are able to do that and create this amazing balance. And the first step is going to be the hardest step. And it's the most common step, but the next 2 steps are ones that you never hear anywhere on YouTube. I have never heard this step. This one I figured out on my own and it helped me personally. And it's going to help you because it's just human psychology. I cracked the code on, okay, video games get you addicted because of this, because of that. First tip is going to be do your usual dopamine detox. I know you've heard this thousands of times. Dopamine detox where you won't be addicted anymore. Oh my gosh, you're doing the dopamine detox and you'll be able to do the boring stuff, the reading, the journaling, the studying, all that stuff. But hear me out. When you do a dopamine detox, you have to do it properly, man. You have to replace video games with something else. Okay, you're not going to play video games, but instead of playing video games, what are you going to do? In the times that you would usually play video games, what are you going to do instead? Okay, maybe instead of playing video games, you're going to go to the gym. Maybe you're gonna go hang out with some friends, have a social life. You're gonna go to a martial arts class. Something that is actually related to video games, that gives you fills the same void as video games would. What do they give you? They give you competition. They give you a rush of just something to do, right? You can do martial arts, you can go to the gym. That's why you hear a lot of gym bros that you hear their backstory and they're like, oh, I used to play video games all the time, bro, but now I'm a gym bro. Oh, and now I go to martial arts. You hear that very commonly because it's something that can very easily be replaced with something like the gym. It's something that can very easily be replaced with something else. So do your dopamine detox, but go about it in the proper way. When you dopamine detox from video games in any other area of your life too, do it in a way that you replace habits. Don't just eliminate them because that's your one-way ticket to failure at a dopamine detox. So yes, do it, and once you complete this step for around a week or 2, you do a dopamine detox for around a week or 2, and you're not addicted anymore, you're at a spot where you can look at your video game, you can look at the competitive video game, and you've replaced it with the gym, with something else, and you're not addicted to it. Once you get to that point where you're not thinking about it constantly, then you can move on to the next step that I'm about to give you. The next step is going to be ditch the competitive video games. Those Ditch them completely. There is no room for balance with those video games. And that's where a lot of you guys are probably going to click off, or a lot of you guys are going to leave a dislike or something, because, oh no, I need my competitive video game, man. I need my CSGO, I need my Valorant, I need my Apex Legends, I need my Smash Brothers. Oh no, man, you can't do that to me. Listen, man, do you want to know why they're so addicting? They're addicting because they create this thing inside of you. They evoke competition. They evoke intensity. They evoke fighting. They evoke player versus player. Ditch the PvP video games, man. Ditch the Valorant. Ditch all of those video games that are constantly giving you a rush of competition and giving you a rank like for you to grind on, because that's how they have you hooked for life. If you don't do something, they have you hooked for life. It fills this void of competition that we have inside of us. Like, oh, I need to go against this person. I need to achieve glory and honor in a virtual world. Our brain doesn't know the difference. It sees the same thing. When you see a rank in the screen, you see Radiance for Valorant, Immortal, or Platinum, you see Gold. Our brain thinks that it's actually achieving something. That's why it's so addicting. And then you have this competitive thing that you're always going against other people. I need to get better and better and better and better and better. The grind never ends because you can always get better at them. Always get better than the other person. Always get better than your friend. And then you become consumed by this video game. It's no coincidence that every single time that you hear of a video game addiction, it's always involved with some online player versus player thing. Always. You never hear of someone being addicted to a story mode game, for example. Because that one you could just pick up and do whatever, whenever you want, whenever you'd like. Which leads me to my third step. Here are the video games that you should play. Whenever you're not addicted anymore, whenever you're not constantly thinking of video games anymore, here are the games that you can play. And these are story mode games, level games. Think of Mario, think of Sonic games, think of all of these level open world games that you can play that are story mode and that are very enjoyable. But the difference is you never hear of people being addicted to these games because they're not competitive, they're not super intense, they don't keep you hooked for months and months upon months, but they're very much enjoyable, man. Because you can pick it up and, okay, I'm going to complete the story mode. Okay, you complete it within a day or two and that's it. And after that, maybe it's very replayable, okay? You can play it again for another 30, 20 minutes and that's it. But you don't have it constantly hooking you with this ranking system. This, I need to get to the next level. I need to improve even more than the person that's right in front of me. Get better than them. No, that is non-existent. You can enjoy a very cool, chill story mode game without getting yourself hooked, because these games don't involve this intense competition, this intense thing, but you know what they do involve? A very quick story mode. Like, you're on missions, you're doing this stuff, like you're completing levels, but there's no rush in your brain. There's no pressure for you to get better than someone else. There's no rush for you to achieve a certain rank. No. It's very casual. You play the game, you get off when you want to, and you keep on going a month later if you want to, and that you're not going to lose anything by doing that. There's no exclusive content that you need to play within this period of time. Oh, if not, you don't get it, man. Or a lot of people are going to get better than you if you don't play within this time. Oh man, you don't have any of that. You put the game down and you don't lose anything because of it. Nobody gets better than you. Nobody's competing against you. You don't lose any exclusive content that you've missed out on. You don't lose that exclusive skin that you could only get within this certain period of time. That is non-existent in story mode video games, and that's why I recommend it to a lot of people. Whenever you're free of the addiction, you do your usual dopamine detox, quit the PvP games. Leave them entirely, all right? If you want to play a video game that is story mode, that you can do levels on, and that's it. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's so important that you also understand which video games to play. Now, if by some miracle, you can actually genuinely balance those online competitive games without feeling the rush of, oh, am I going to miss out on these skins? Oh, am I going to get worse than this other player? If you can do that, if you can actually balance it, then go ahead. And by the way, by balance, I mean that you're also not constantly thinking about it every single day of your life. If you can do that, go ahead, play them. But I don't know of much people that can do that, honestly. I sure as hell couldn't. When I play a competitive video game, I get consumed by it sooner or later. Might take a few weeks, a week or two, but I get consumed by it. I get consumed by it, and I get involved in all the competition. And now I'm thinking about it every day. Now I'm wanting to play every day. And it's just horrible for you. Think about the people in the past, man, when we only had arcades, when we only had very simple video games. People enjoyed those video games and it was really nice, but you never heard of someone being addicted to them. Why? Because they weren't competitive. You only ever heard of a video game addiction whenever we started getting these competitive video games. That's all. That's all you have to think about it. Just think about it. That's it. The only situation in which you could potentially play PvP games is when it's in person. Let's say that you're at an event. You're at a friend's house. You're doing something and it involves people actually coming over to your house, or you're going over to their house and there's this little party. Then you can play PvP games, because you're not going to be doing that all the time, all right? You're not going to have this easy online access to these players around the world all the time like you have at home. So it's going to be very occasional. Only when people come over, only then you can play like a little PvP game with them. But only then can you do it. When you're by yourself, you only play open world, like little level video games, story mode video games. That's it, because those are very controllable. Those are very balanceable. You can usually control when you play those games. They don't have you hooked all the time. If you want to get off a story mode video game, you can get off of it. It's fine, because you don't have this rush of, I'm gonna miss out on something, I'm gonna get worse than everyone. You get the points, all right? You get the points. By the way, brother, if you want to join a Discord server where we have like-minded self-improvement young men and women just like you that are on the same journey, you can join that link in the description below, brother, all right? See you there. So I seriously hope this helps. It certainly helped me. I applied this, and basically, video game addiction was never a part of my life anymore. And remember, a man who masters himself is truly free.